So we are at HQ, about to go change the seed discs on the planter to plant snap beans. And we'll have to alternate that a lot for the next little bit because we'll be planting corn and snap beans around the same time. So we're gonna see what they're doing in here. I think they're just getting everything ready. So you got this thing organized?
Yes, shit.
I see that. Look how organized that is. That's crazy, bro.
You should have seen it before.
I know. It was pretty bad.
Finna go get the Dodge, come back, load up some chemicals, go back down there and spray this on.
So a planter has different size discs for different types of seed. Should I not do that? That you can see under there. And these are for the snap beans, green beans, same thing. But you have to take a vacuum, a shop vac, and get all the corn out of the planter hoppers. And we need a generator to power the shop vac. There's a board that holds this on back here that keeps everything back in the back. And Uncle Clarence, this truck has a option for a gooseneck, and he didn't raise the gooseneck up all the way. And when he pulled off, the gooseneck hit that board and just snapped it. Not this board, but a different board. All right, we are heading to Timmy's. Yep. We're heading to the Timmy Tire Field. And the reason it's called the Timmy Tire Field is because Timmy Tire owned it before. What year is this tractor?
This truck?
Yeah, this truck.
I don't know, dude. I forget.
Look, baby, we are riding in the real high class. Like, you see all these smoke over there, and the reason for that is like a lot of people, when it gets really dry and there's been like a big frost like we've had, they're gonna burn their pastures off, they'll burn off their pine trees, because it's just, everything's dead and everything's really dry. And if it's not windy and you can get a permit, now's a good time to do it before you get real busy in the year and stuff. Yeah, it'll grow back better. So people that say that burning things is bad, well, actually it can be very beneficial to not just the farmer but to the environment itself. All right, we're back at HQ. We're about to load us up with some chemicals. So we were about to spray what now?
Right.
We were in an R4030 John Deere sprayer, high boy. Call it a high boy because it's really tall, so it can spray over a lot of higher things. It has an 800-gallon tank, 800 gallons of water mixed with chemical. It's got 90-foot booms, and it can haul butt. Self-leveling so that it can, the spray booms, yeah, the booms are self-level. It's got self-adjusting, or hydraulically adjusting spacing on the wheels, so you can adjust your spacing depending on what the spacing of the rows are. Explain to them what the deal with going around the field is.
You're just making this perimeter right here that we're riding on, so that when you come up, it cuts your sprayers off and the end's already sprayed, and then that way you have the same path. Instead of messing up all the beds, especially when it's already planted, you can take the same path every job. When it's dusty, there's 2 extra nozzles behind the back wheels that will spray more. It's basically spraying double because it's so dusty sometimes.
Oh, okay.
We'll
So the booms are coming out now.
Yeah.
And I should have done this side, I guess. Like I said, the total length of this from end to end is 90 feet.
We used to have these on all the time. We didn't notice for a while, so we've been overspraying. I think we oversprayed our spinach a little bit on accident.
So now what are you doing here?
See, this one is not spraying right now. These 2 are.
Because they're turned out.
Yeah. And you can see the normal spacing right here, or right there. This is how they're normally spaced. So you can tell you're spraying extra when you cut this one off.
But the tire track is right there. So there's an extra nozzle you can cut on just for the sake of the dust, because it's really dry right now.
That Florida sand, baby.
Yeah.
This is what turns on your auto level. This is the GPS. This little yellow button turns on the sprayer, like the actual nozzles. This moves the booms up and down, left side or right side. You can do it manually. You know, this is the right side, of course.
Yeah.
This cuts your, so if I click it right, now the far left section of nozzles won't come on, and you can click it all the way across.
And that blue is your, what you've
That's
already
what you've
painted.
already sprayed.
It's already sprayed.
And then, you know, you can set your gallons per acre.
And we're doing what right now?
13.3.
Okay. And so the purpose of what we're doing is we're gonna kill the cover crop. So we took and we bedded this field and prepared the land. You can kind of see the beds through there, the ridges, and the reason for that is that the land is already prepared to be planted. All we have to do is kill the rye that's there to prevent erosion and just to kind of be there just to protect the topsoil. So after Luke sprays this and the rye dies, my dad will come behind him and plant either corn or snap beans, whatever. I don't know what side this is.
Green beans.
So this side's for green beans, the other side's for corn. So we used to have 2 tractors that we had to use to spray with. They're not self-propelled like this. And they had what you would call like a quick hit sprayer that was a 400-gallon tank, and they had 60-foot booms. And this thing by itself, which has 90-foot booms, could outspray 2 guys spraying on 2 different tractors with 60-foot booms, because this has a double the size tank as one of those 60-foot booms. It sprays faster. I mean,
it would take me and Uncle Clarence, who used to spray. You know, when I first started anyway, after you went off to school. It would take me and Uncle Clarence all day, and I literally mean all day, to spray 100 acres. Like all day with that sprayer, both of us. I can spray by myself. I have sprayed, this will be almost 200 acres, and it ain't even halfway, you know, it's just past halfway through the day. Right. And after I finish this will be almost 200 acres I've sprayed by myself, besides what you just come out here.
Well, and you ain't been spraying all day. You've stopped and done a few other things.
Yeah, done other stuff, and it frees up a tractor, because now we don't have to have that tractor on a sprayer.
Frees up a tractor, and it basically frees up 2 people, because you needed 1 guy just to fill up tractors who went and got water, did nurse tanks, all that kind of jazz. And you had an extra guy on another tractor, because you had to have 2 tractors to keep up with all the crops you were trying to spray. So you eliminated two people and 2 tractors, and that's a big deal. And a lot of people don't realize that farming is not anymore just as simple as going out there and planting a seed. I mean, you have little computers that you actually operate while you're driving a massive machine that is very expensive, and you could easily tear up something if you're not paying attention. So, I mean, you have to know how to operate this computer and drive this giant machine and not tear up something like one of these booms, which I have done, not on this thing, but when I was younger, I tore up one, actually in this field. all the way down there.
What?
It's right down there at the tree line. I turned around and I ripped the boom off.
I wasn't paying attention.
I was like 13 years old. And
Now you're doing a grown man stuff.
I was out here spraying at 13. I'm pretty sure I was 13, no shit. And it's different than how we do it now, but back then when you turned around, you had to pick up a boom, and then you know, if you're gonna turn left, you pick up the right side boom so that you don't run it into the trees.
Hold that bitch in.
Right, but when you start listening to 102.7, you listen to some T-Pain or something back then, and you're not supposed to be anyways because your mama's gonna get mad at you, and you get all into it. Next thing you know, you turn around and you don't flip your boom, and you look back and you see your boom has ripped up a bunch of trees, and it's not good. The reason he's having so much trouble too keeping it straight, or not really straight, but keeping it in the road, is because of the beds. There's these things called shanks, which we might show you one day. It'll probably be a while before we're bedding again, but where the shank digs a deep spot in the dirt so that the corn roots or the bean roots have a much easier time going through the soft dirt. And so we don't want to spray along the row line parallel with the road, because naturally the tires of the tractor, because it's heavy, is going to want to fall into that soft dirt, which will then ruin the purpose of the subsoiler shank for the corn or whatever. So that's why we're spraying. And what's also unique about a self-propelled sprayer like this, and I assume all these self-propelled sprayers do this, is they have their own ability to manage the PSI of the sprayer separate from the motor of the tractor. Whereas when you were spraying with a regular tractor, your RPMs were what set the pressure of the spray. That way he can slow down and speed up the tractor and not actually ever adjust. Well, it does adjust the rate, but it
adjusted itself, yeah.
It self-adjusts versus us having to do it.
It was either slow down, you were overspraying, or if you went too fast, you're underspraying.
Right.
I ripped a sprinkler off the hill house the other day.
Like off the tower?
Yeah, it was on the end, right out there where the end gun is. You know, it's a long overhang.
Uh-huh.
And the end sprinkler at the hill house hangs down like a foot lower than the rest of them. And I had to stick my boom under it, where up here the boom stays higher, and you know, I can't let my boom hit the dirt. So I got too close to it and put myself in a pickle. I was trying to squeeze by a tight spot.
Yeah.
And I ripped the sprinkler off.